If you want to bring your cinematic car edits from beginner to pro, here are my best 7 tips to improve your car edits that you can apply right now. Each tip will improve your car edits drastically, so the more tips you can apply, the better your car edits will be. Did you ever watch a Tom and Jerry scene where Tom the cat is chasing Jerry the mouse? They're running from left to right, from right to left, from left to right, and so on. They are going in all directions and it's making me sick. We don't want this for our cinematic car edits. We rather have a smooth flow, something pleasant to watch. To get that smooth flow, I match my camera directions throughout the shots. So if in one of the shots my camera moves from left to right, I try to find a similar shot that also moves from left to right. If you don't have the exact same movement left to right, you can always pick another shot that goes from right to left and simply reverse the clip in post-production. Just look at the difference between these two edits. On the left side we have the Tom and Jerry flow, changing of direction for every shot. And on the right, the edit flows nicely, giving you that smooth flow. Not every shot has to be the exact same direction, but if you keep in mind that overall flow, your edits will be nicer to watch. I eat cereal for breakfast every morning. I love cereal. But I'm gonna be honest, if I had to eat cereal for breakfast, for lunch, in between snacking, dinner, I would probably want something else. And the same goes for your car edits. Imagine you are just seeing the same shot over and over and over again. It gets pretty boring pretty quickly, right? That's why you want to have a variety of shots in your edit to keep it interesting for the viewer to watch. Wide shots, for example, side or quarter shots from the full car in frame. Medium shots such as rim shots, headlights or taillight shots. And close-up shots, for example, from the badge, or a close-up shot from cool stickers. They add to the vibe of your edit. And ideally, you want to mix them all up in your edit. You also want to avoid to put 2 shots right next to each other from the same subject. So for example, 2 times from the rim. Mix it all up, keep it interesting. It's your grandma sending a video to the family WhatsApp group. Yeah, their videos are shaky as fuck. It's making me dizzy. Same goes for your car edits. Nobody wants to see shaky car shots. Good news, there are a few ways to increase the stability of your shots. First one is to use a gimbal. This device will help you get smoother shots by moving your camera in a smooth motion. Do note that operating a gimbal takes some practice. Those buttery smooth shots, they don't come straight out of the box. I made a full tutorial on how to make smooth gimbal shots. I will drop a link in the description. If you don't have a gimbal or you don't want a gimbal, you can also use a camera strap. You just tighten the strap, keep your elbows tucked in, and you will be able to reduce the shake drastically, just like this. And if you don't want or you don't have a camera strap, you can always turn on your in-body stabilization. You can spread your legs and then tuck in your elbows and just hover your upper body from left to right, and that should be able to minimize most of the shakes. And if you still have some micro jitters or shakes in your shots, don't worry too much about it. You can probably get rid of those in post-production because most softwares have a built-in feature to stabilize your shots. I use Davinci Resolve's built-in stabilization function, which I usually set to translation. If you want to know my full process on how I stabilize my shots in post-production to get those buttery, smooth and locked-on shots, I made a full YouTube video on this topic and I will drop the link in the description box. Bonus tip here, you can also use slow motion. For this you can ideally film in 60 frames per second and use a 30 frames per second timeline. This way you can slow down your 60 frames per second by 50%, which will result in 30 frames per second, which nicely matches your timeline. Because if you slow down your footage by 50%, there is 50% less shake. You have probably been there. You go to some sort of show or theater and all the people are clapping to the music. And then there is this one guy who is always late, like he is deaf. Maybe he's actually deaf. But anyway, it's awkward for everyone. Don't make your car edits awkward and make sure you match the transition from one clip to the other one nicely to the beat of the music. You can simply play the audio track on your editing program and you can set beat markers. For example, in Davinci Resolve, I just hit M. This way you know exactly where is the beat and you can easily match your clips to the music. You don't always have to cut it exactly on the same beat. You can spice it up a little bit to other beats so it's not too repetitive. Let's go back to your grandparents. Usually when you are FaceTiming them, you just see their forehead and maybe their nose. Terrible composition. And their nose doesn't really add value to the FaceTime call. The forehead of your grandma is not that special, neither is it attractive. For your car edits, you want to focus on special or beautiful parts that you want to highlight in the shots. And what I like to do is I want to keep that focus point around the same area throughout my different shots. Look at the difference here. The focus point goes all over the place throughout the different shots. Then it's here, and so on. And on the right edit, the focus point kind of stays around the same area. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it's something to keep in mind. For the next tip, it's something I've experienced myself and probably you have experienced it too. But my real life friends and family, they're like, "Ah yeah, you film cars, cool." They don't understand. They don't have that same interest. They don't have the vision. They don't have the passion for filming cars. And that's exactly why we launched a community for automotive videographers, and you are invited. It's a group of like-minded people with the same interests. We are all on the same journey. We talk about car stuff, we check and we review each other's edits, we give some feedback, and usually I'm just logged into the community whenever I'm working on a computer. I'm always chatting with at least someone. We also do weekly live calls if you want to join. We invite other cool automotive creators where we can learn from, and so much more. And we also have a full classroom section where you can learn everything to improve your automotive video skills, divided into clear sections for you to learn. It's fun and you will improve your skills much faster. You can try it completely for free for 7 days, and if you like it, you can stay. See you inside. Next up is the cherry on the cake. You made it this far, you made a whole edit, you chose your best shots, you matched it nicely to the music, and now it's time for the color grade. And that is truly where the magic happens for me personally. You can increase or decrease some color saturation to make your image stand out. You can add a simple vignette or gradient to draw some more attention towards the car. It doesn't always have to be difficult. And if you want to see exactly how I edited and color graded this cinematic car edit, make sure to watch this video next.